Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. England make it through to the round of 16 this World Cup and will take on Senegal to see who can make it through to the quarter-finals. England finished top of their group in the end with 2 wins and 1 draw, beating Iran opening game, drawing against the USA, and then a 3-0 win against Wales in the final game to finish top to take on a Senegal side who came second in their group, just 1 point behind the Netherlands in the end, thanks to a fantastic win in their final game against an Ecuador side who really turned up this World Cup. I thought Ecuador were very good, and Senegal beat them. They take the place in the round of 16, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that one. We're going to talk a little bit about Senegal, what can we expect from them in this game, and we're also going to talk about England. What have we liked so far, maybe what have we not liked so far with England, and what could we potentially change up going into this game? Will Gareth Southgate make changes to the team? We saw players like Foden come into that Wales game and for me played very well. Rashford, yes, he didn't start the game great, but he scored 2 goals. I think he's definitely put his name in the hat for this game. We're going to talk a little bit about that and we will get on to predictions as well. So let me know your score predictions down below for this one. And before we get into it, we do have a video sponsor. PUBG Mobile is one of the most popular free-to-play mobile battle royale games in the world, with 50 million daily active users and over 1 billion total downloads. You can play solos, you can play duos, you can play squads in a battle royale to see who can survive until the end. And they've got a whole host of game modes like sniper training, weapons master, arcade. They've got team deathmatch in first person, third person, and they've also done a lot of collaborations as well. They did one with Spider-Man No Way Home. They did one with The Boys from the Amazon series. They've done them with brands like Tesla and Lamborghini, but it just got even better as they have done one with, for me, the best footballer of all time, Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi will join PUBG Mobile for an exclusive in-game collaboration during this 2022 World Cup, and there will be a whole host of Lionel Messi related content. From weekly activities for you guys to complete to Messi's golden shoes that will give you additional sprint speed and boost effects, almost like you're dribbling with a football on a football pitch, but in a battle royale, and there's going to be a whole host of additional Messi customizations as well. Messi weapons, 3 new Messi skins, and even a Lionel Messi plane, and it's all available right now on PUBG Mobile. And to continue celebrating this 2022 World Cup, they are also introducing the Global Chicken Cup, which is an exciting football-themed festival with a whole host of new content, including a football theme park, a football car, even a portable football that you can kick at other players in-game like a grenade. There is loads of Lionel Messi and football content coming to PUBG Mobile right now, and if you've never tried it before, it's a great time to do it. And they have sponsored this video, so I will leave the free link down in the description. Go and check it out, take a look, let me know what you think, and let's get on with the video. Let's start off by talking a little bit about how England have done so far this tournament. So as I say, we did top the group. We started off with a great win against Iran. We scored loads of goals, we attacked, we went for it. Gareth Southgate did not play 5 at the back, we went 4 at the back. Everyone was very excited. And then we played the USA game, and England took a lot of criticism for not playing very well. And to be honest, the first half of the Wales game, I didn't think we were that good either. But Rashford got the free kick. It almost kicked everyone into gear. We got a great goal. Well, Rashford scored 2, didn't he? Rashford scored a goal where the keeper could have done better. But I thought the Foden goal at the back stick was a very well-played goal, despite the fact that we actually got the ball from a Wales mistake as well. But we scored 3, and positives, we haven't lost. well, we've made it through to the round of 16, and it is tournament football. Not necessarily negatives, but we go into that Wales game in the final game of the group. And yes, a draw, would have been enough to send us through to the next round. But going in against a Wales side who really weren't having a great tournament, they had to beat us by, I think it was 4 or 5 goals to have a chance of getting through. And I just thought, you know what, let's just go out there. Let's just play football. Let's really go for it. But instead, we did go 4-3-3, don't get me wrong, but against the Wales side who hadn't been that great so far, to play Henderson, Rice and Bellingham, who I know isn't really, he's a bit of everything, he's not a defensive midfielder, but to have Henderson and Rice in that game, we could have gone for it. But that isn't the way Gareth Southgate plays, and that's the thing that I think the criticisms have come over. We are better than defending, but that's what's seen us get to a final and a semi-final in the last 2 tournaments. And as much as it isn't always the most attractive football, we haven't lost a game, we're through to the next round, and you grind out the results. It's tournament football. And that's one thing Gareth Southgate probably deserves credit for, isn't necessarily, losing the games in the Nations League and losing 4-0 against Hungary and some of these results going into the tournament. Those are things he should definitely be criticised for, but he's good in the tournaments, and possibly because he's a centre-back and he's defensively minded and he doesn't necessarily make the most of some of our fantastic attacking players, but it gets us through. And I imagine we'll see more of that in this game against Senegal, and I imagine we will see that throughout the rest of the tournament. Senegal had a rough start to the tournament. Their main man, Sadio Mane, was injured. They did take him in the squad in the hope that he might be able to feature throughout this World Cup, but unfortunately, scans have showed the injury was more serious than first thought. He's not been able to get involved. He won't be involved in the England game, and I don't think, even if Senegal were able to get all the way to the end, that he would regain fitness, because I think it's worse than first expected. And then they played their first game of the tournament against the favourites in their group, Netherlands, lost that game, and they needed to turn things around. They beat Qatar. Yeah, everybody beat Qatar. Qatar weren't very good. But they then played an Ecuador side who, as I say, were a bit of a dark horse in that group. I think a lot of people said, and it did work out that way, Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, Qatar. But Ecuador, as I say, got a draw against Netherlands and maybe a bit of a shock result. And then going into that final game against Senegal, I think most people were backing Ecuador. Valencia was very, very good for them, but Senegal got the job done. Players like Sarr scored, got the penalty, and despite Ecuador equalising very quickly, Koulibaly steps up and puts the ball in the back of the net and sends them through to the round of 16. So players to look out for, Dia, the striker, definitely look out for him. And as I say, Sarr, another player you'll know. Koulibaly is the rock at the back, and Mendy in goal is someone that I think will be tough to get past. But I think the big thing that Senegal have is great teamwork. They're very strong, they work hard, they aren't scared to get involved, throw the tackles in, and I think this could light up to be quite an interesting game. As I say, I think Senegal have definitely got some pace and powerful players that England are going to have to deal with, and that brings me on to how will England approach this game. As I say, you imagine we will go in defensively, but when it comes to lineups, one thing that we did see in the Wales game was Kyle Walker get involved. Obviously, Southgate changed things around a little bit. He wanted to maybe give some players game time. Maybe he wanted to give some players a rest as well. Did he bring Kyle Walker in? Because had Kyle Walker not been injured, and I think Gareth Southgate has taken praise that he has gone with the 4 at the back this tournament. Now that Kyle Walker is fit again, will we see the return of the back 5? I hope not. And if I had to guess, would we bring it back for this game against Senegal? No, I don't think we will. Could we possibly see it later in the tournament? Yes, had Kyle Walker been fit at the start of this tournament, would that have been how we played from the start? I possibly think so. As much as Senegal do bring threat to this game, they are going in as the underdogs, and they aren't scared to sit back and let the other team have the ball as well. They've got some quick, powerful players that they can try and break on England, but generally speaking, I imagine we will have the majority of the ball in this game. And we saw it a little bit in the Wales game. We saw it in the USA game where we were trying to create and to go in with a back five and two holding midfielders against a team where we expect to have the majority of the ball, I think will be too much. I think of anything, you look at the fact that we played, as I say, Rice, Henderson, Bellingham. We did change it up a little bit in the second half. And for me, to play the back four with maybe Rice and Bellingham, and then allow maybe a Foden sit in the middle, bring Saka back in, potentially bring Sterling back in, but to have that man in the middle who can flick it around corners and can try and create something, I think would be key in this game as well. As I say, I expect us to have a lot of the ball, and formation-wise, I would imagine we'll probably stick with what we've been doing. However, as I say, I would like to see us maybe be a little bit braver and don't just play a middle three of Henderson, Rice, Bellingham. I love Bellingham. I think he looked really good this tournament. I think Rice is a great player. You get what you get with Henderson. He's a guy in the middle who tries to pick up the ball and pass it to the other players, which is what a team needs sometimes. But as I say, going into this one, I think we can be braver than that to try and actually push the ball forward. But it's not to say that we don't start that way. We score one or two without the need of maybe a more creative player and then switch it up later on. Let me know your thoughts on that, but generally my lineup will go the way it's been so far. It will be Pickford net, it will be Trippier back at right back. I thought that was something that we did lack in the Wales game, was deliveries into the box. There was quite a few poor deliveries attempted by Walker and Shaw on the left as well. In fairness, one thing that with Harry Kane that was actually frustrating me, he wants to drop off, he wants to get involved in the play, which is fine, but if we had the two midfielders in the middle with Foden more attacking, he can do that job. We wouldn't need Kane to drop off, and it just meant that when we were getting the ball in, there was nobody in the 6-yard box. Wales had like 7 players in their own 6-yard box, and we had no one. Harry Kane should be literally stood on the penalty spot all game, just firing the ball into him. When he's having to drop off because there's nobody in that hole, I feel like that hurt us as well. So Trippier back out on the right back position to not only defend, but get those balls into the box. He's going to go with Stones and Maguire again. And as I say, Shaw generally has been alright this tournament. And generally his deliveries have been alright as well. That game he had a few poor ones, but hopefully he can continue to push on. In the middle, I would go for Rice and Bellingham. Try and bring back the game we had against Iran. I thought they both played really well. I think Rice is a good enough player to pretty much pick up a lot of what's going on his own, especially in a game where we expect to have a lot of the ball, and then that allows Bellingham to have that more free role where he can sit, but he can also push, and then just in front of them, as I say, maybe in a more attacking centre midfielder kind of 10 role, I would say put Foden there. I like Foden. I know that he can play out wide, but I also think he does a good job in the middle. Or James Maddison. He's someone that I would love to see get involved in this England team. He's, for me, possibly or was the most informed player going with England into this World Cup. Was very disappointing that he had the injury troubles, but it's understood that he is match fit and could be involved in this game. The trouble is, as I say, Southgate's going to play the players, I think, at this point who have been involved already, but I think he would be a great player to play that central role. He's got the shot on him. He's great on set pieces as well. Is able to create. He's someone that I would quite like to see involved in that role as well. And I do expect Southgate to want to bring back Saka and Sterling with Harry Kane up top. So I think generally that would be what I would like to see. Well, I say that with a pinch of salt. That's also me playing the kind of That's also me including what I expect Southgate to do, but maybe with a little switch of what I would like to see as well. So let me know your thoughts on that. In terms of a prediction, it is the knockout stages. We could potentially see extra time. Hopefully, we don't see penalties, but I'm hopeful that England can get it done in the 90 minutes, and I'm going to go 2-0 England. As I say, I don't really see goals galore. I'm hopeful that we can keep them out of our net, and obviously it just depends how the game goes. What we want to do is try and get a goal early-ish, try and keep the ball and play from there. Obviously the nightmare will be if we do go over defensive, they get a goal, and we've got to completely change our game plan, which is not what Gareth Southgate wants to do. He wants to play his style of football and he wants it to work, and I hope it works as well. Alright guys, give me your predictions down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the lineup. How do you think England will approach this game? Thanks for watching as always, and obviously a big thank you to our sponsor on this video, PUBG Mobile. Be sure to go and check it out. It is a free game. The link is down in the description. Download it, have a look. It helps the channel. And thank you for watching guys, and I'll catch you later.